Hello everyone. This lecture delves into the multifaceted domains of global, ethical, and sustainable marketing, tailored for an academic audience. Global marketing requires navigating diverse economic, cultural, and regulatory environments to seize international opportunities. Ethical marketing emphasizes integrity, aligning business practices with societal values to foster trust and accountability. Sustainability integrates environmental and social considerations into marketing strategies, addressing the triple bottom line of people, planet, and profit. This presentation covers critical topics, including international trade frameworks, market entry strategies, ethical decision-making, and sustainable practices. Through case studies like TerraCycle's Loop platform, students will explore how firms balance profitability with social responsibility. The lecture equips students with analytical tools to evaluate global market dynamics, understand regulatory impacts, and develop responsible marketing strategies. By the end, students will appreciate the interconnectedness of global markets and the pivotal role of ethical and sustainable marketing in driving long-term societal benefits. This slide outlines the initial learning objectives for global marketing. Firms must assess globalization by evaluating market potential and competitive landscapes, deciding whether to expand, which markets to target, and how to adapt strategies. International organizations like the World Trade Organization, WTO, World Bank, and International Monetary Fund, IMF shape trade policies, reduce barriers, and foster economic cooperation. For example, the WTO oversees trade agreements to ensure fairness, while the IMF supports financial stability. Economic communities like the EU promote regional trade but impose regulations. The external environment, economic, political, legal, technological, and socio-cultural factors, shapes marketing outcomes. Currency fluctuations or political instability, for instance, can disrupt market entry. Understanding these dynamics enables marketers to craft strategies aligned with global and domestic conditions, ensuring competitiveness and compliance. This slide focuses on strategies and ethical considerations for global marketing. Market entry strategies include exporting, licensing, franchising, joint ventures, and direct investment, each balancing risk and control. For instance, exporting minimizes financial risk, while direct investment offers greater control but requires significant capital. Ethical marketing ensures integrity, avoiding practices like deceptive advertising. Sustainability integrates environmental and social responsibility, aligning with a triple bottom line. Unilever's eco-friendly products exemplify this, appealing to green consumers. This slide sets the stage for analyzing TerraCycle's sustainable initiatives and strategic decisions for global expansion, emphasizing the balance between profitability and societal impact in marketing planning. This slide examines TerraCycle's strategic decision regarding its Loop platform, aimed at reducing plastic waste through reusable packaging. Led by CEO Tom Zaki, TerraCycle introduced Loop to offer durable packaging for consumer goods. The decision to launch at the 2017 Davos World Economic Forum, partner with brands like Procter & Gamble, or abandon the concept highlights sustainable marketing challenges. Announcing at Davos leveraged global visibility, aligning with demand for eco-friendly solutions. Delaying risked losing momentum, while abandoning it ignored the plastic pollution crisis. TerraCycle's collaboration with Procter & Gamble on a recyclable shampoo bottle from beach plastic showcases innovation. This case study illustrates how firms navigate ethical and environmental challenges, balancing innovation with market readiness. Global marketing operates in a dynamic environment shaped by geopolitical, environmental, and social factors. Climate change, with rising temperatures and extreme weather, disrupts supply chains and consumer behavior, requiring adaptive strategies. Global events like the Arab Spring or COVID-19 highlight resource disparities, as seen in Bangladesh's lockdown challenges. These events emphasize the need for marketers to anticipate disruptions and tailor strategies to diverse markets. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic exposed supply chain vulnerabilities, prompting firms to diversify sourcing. Understanding these external factors enables marketers to design resilient strategies that address local needs, while maintaining global competitiveness. emphasizing flexibility in navigating economic and environmental challenges. World trade involves the global exchange of goods and services, with exports growing from $12 trillion in 2009 to nearly $25 trillion in 2022. However, barriers like non-convertible currencies in 100 countries, including China, complicate transactions, requiring flexible payment methods like countertrade, which accounts for 20 to 25% of global trade. Unsafe products, such as toys with lead paint, pose ethical and regulatory challenges. Marketers must ensure product safety and compliance with international standards to maintain consumer trust. This slide highlights the importance of understanding trade dynamics, economic prosperity, and regulatory constraints to develop effective global marketing strategies. Entering global markets requires a structured decision-making process. First, firms assess if globalization aligns with strategic goals, considering domestic market saturation. Second, they identify attractive markets based on economic potential and competition, as Starbucks did in Tokyo in 1996. Third, they select a market entry strategy, from low-risk exporting to high-commitment direct investment. Finally, the marketing mix, product, price, promotion, and place, is adapted to local conditions. Standardization leverages economies of scale, while localization tailors strategies to cultural contexts. This slide emphasizes strategic planning to align competitive advantages with market-specific needs for sustainable global growth. Deciding whether to go global involves evaluating market conditions and opportunities. Firms assess domestic market saturation, as Starbucks did before expanding to Tokyo in 1996, growing to over 36,000 locations in 84 countries. They must determine if their competitive advantage, such as brand strength or unique offerings, will translate abroad against local competitors with home market advantages. For instance, a firm's innovation may succeed domestically but face cultural or regulatory barriers abroad. This slide explores the strategic considerations of global expansion, emphasizing the need to balance domestic opportunities with foreign market potential to ensure profitability and competitiveness. International cooperation facilitates trade through organizations like the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, GATT, and the World Trade Organization WTO. GATT, post-World War II, reduced trade barriers, while the WTO, overseeing 97% of world trade, ensures fair practices and dispute resolution. Protectionism, via quotas, embargoes, or tariffs, restricts trade, favoring domestic firms. Economic communities like the USMCA, replacing NAFTA in 2020, and the EU promote regional trade while setting standards. This slide underscores the importance of navigating regulatory frameworks to leverage trade agreements and mitigate barriers for market access. Economic communities coordinate trade policies to ease cross-border flows. The Andean Community, Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, promotes regional integration. ASEAN, including Brunei and Malaysia, fosters trade in Southeast Asia. The European Union, with over 500 million consumers, standardizes regulations for members like Germany and France. The USMCA, replacing NAFTA in 2020, enhances trade among the US, Mexico, and Canada, adjusting rules for automakers. These communities set policies on product content and advertising, aiding marketers in navigating regulations while accessing lucrative markets, balancing regional cooperation with the global competitiveness. The external marketing environment, economic, technological, political, legal, socio-cultural, and competitive factors, shapes marketing strategies. Economic conditions like GDP influence purchasing power, while technological advancements, such as e-commerce, transform distribution. Political and legal factors, including trade regulations, require compliance, as seen in TED's renaming of the Zika cart to avoid Zika virus associations. Socio-cultural factors, like cultural values, demand localized strategies, while competitive environments affect pricing. This slide emphasizes analyzing these factors to tailor strategies, ensuring relevance and effectiveness in both domestic and global markets. The economic environment influences marketing through key indicators like gross domestic product, GDP, which measures a country's output, and foreign exchange, forex, rates, affecting pricing. A stronger dollar, for instance, increases U.S. purchasing power abroad. Economic development levels, least developed, developing, and developed, determine market potential. Least developed countries, LDCs, focus on agriculture, limiting luxury goods markets, while developing countries like BRICS offer consumer product growth. The business cycle, prosperity, recession, recovery, or depression, impacts consumer behavior. This slide highlights economic analysis for setting competitive prices and targeting viable markets. Economic health is measured by gross domestic product, GDP, reflecting a country's production, and foreign exchange, forex, rates, influencing trade competitiveness. A stronger currency enhances import affordability, as seen when a dollar buys more abroad. Economic infrastructure, distribution, financial, and communication systems supports marketing activities. Developed nations' robust infrastructure enables e-commerce, while LDCs face logistical challenges. The standard of living, indicating goods consumed, guides market potential assessment. This slide emphasizes analyzing these factors to identify viable markets and tailor strategies to local economic conditions and consumer purchasing power. Economic development levels shape marketing opportunities. Least developed countries, LDCs, often agriculture-based, have low standards of living, limiting markets to necessities like food. Developing countries, such as BRICS, transition to industrial economies, offering growth for consumer goods like electronics. Developed countries, including G7 nations, have sophisticated markets with high spending power, ideal for premium products. Marketers target staples in LDCs, consumer goods in developing markets, and luxury items in developed nations. This slide underscores aligning strategies with economic contexts to optimize market entry and product positioning. Bottom of the pyramid, BOP, markets, comprising over 4 billion consumers living on less than $2 daily, offer over $5 billion in collective spending power. Prevalent in LDCs and developing countries, these markets require innovative solutions for affordability and accessibility. Unilever's single-use shampoo sachets cater to BOP consumers' needs for low-cost products. Marketers must balance profitability with social impact, creating affordable, high-value goods. This slide explores how firms like Procter & Gamble adapt to BOP markets, emphasizing innovation and scalability to foster economic inclusion and sustainable growth. BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, represent 41% of the global population and 22% of GDP, offering growth opportunities due to expanding consumer bases. G7 countries, US, Japan, Germany, etc. are advanced economies with high per capita GDP, ideal for premium products. Marketers target BRICS for consumer goods and G7 for high-value items like technology. This slide highlights the strategic importance of these economic blocs, emphasizing tailored strategies to balance scale in BRICS with sophistication in G7 markets for global marketing success. The business cycle, prosperity, recession, recovery, and depression, shapes consumer behavior and marketing strategies. Prosperity drives demand for discretionary goods, while recessions favor value products, as seen in the 2008 downturn when consumers opted for budget brands. Recovery sees gradual spending increases, and depressions limit demand severely. Marketers adapt by adjusting pricing and offerings, such as promoting affordable alternatives during downturns. This slide examines how firms align strategies with economic cycles, ensuring resilience and competitiveness in fluctuating market conditions to maintain consumer engagement and market share. The competitive environment requires monitoring rivals through competitive intelligence, using public data to inform strategy. The microenvironment involves competition for discretionary income, product alternatives, e.g., DSL versus satellite internet, and brand rivalry, e.g., smartphones. The macroenvironment includes industry structures like monopolies, oligopolies, e.g., airlines, monopolistic competition, or perfect competition. Understanding these dynamics enables firms to differentiate products, set competitive prices, and target segments effectively. This slide explores how competitive analysis informs strategic decisions, ensuring firms maintain market share in both domestic and global markets. Microenvironment competition occurs at three levels. First, firms compete for discretionary income, as consumers allocate funds to diverse options like dining or debt repayment. Second, product competition involves alternatives meeting similar needs, such as DSL versus satellite internet. Third, brand competition pits similar offerings, like smartphone brands, against each other. Marketers must differentiate products and craft targeted campaigns to capture consumer preference. This slide examines how understanding these competitive layers enables firms to position products effectively, ensuring relevance and appeal in crowded markets. Macroenvironment competition relates to industry structure. A monopoly, like a utility company, faces little pressure to lower prices due to sole market control. An oligopoly, such as airlines, involves few sellers whose actions directly affect each other. Monopolistic competition features many sellers with differentiated products, while perfect competition involves identical offerings. Understanding these structures helps marketers set pricing and positioning strategies. This slide highlights how industry dynamics, like deltas competition and an oligopoly, shape strategic decisions to maintain competitiveness and market share. The technological environment transforms marketing by offering competitive advantages. Innovations like the internet have revolutionized distribution via e-commerce, while emerging technologies, such as autonomous vehicles, disrupt logistics and consumer behavior. Patents protect these advancements, ensuring market exclusivity, as seen with Amazon's Prime Air drones. Marketers leverage technology to enhance products, streamline operations, and engage consumers globally. This slide examines how firms adapt to rapid technological changes, addressing challenges like obsolescence and regulatory compliance to maintain competitiveness in dynamic markets. The political and legal environment shapes marketing through regulations promoting fair competition and consumer protection. U.S. laws like the Sherman Antitrust Act prevent monopolies, while the Consumer Credit Protection Act ensures transparency. Globally, political actions like sanctions, as on Cuba, restrict market access. Marketers must navigate these constraints, ensuring compliance while addressing ethical concerns like human rights. This slide highlights the importance of understanding legal frameworks to develop compliance strategies, balancing regulatory demands with market opportunities in domestic and international contexts. The socio-cultural environment influences marketing through demographics, cultural values, and social norms. Demographics, age, income, education, predict market size, while cultural values, like collectivism in Asian markets, shape preferences. Social norms, such as India's beef taboo, dictate acceptable behaviors. Language barriers require careful messaging, as seen in Audi's Etre naming issue in France. Consumer xenocentrism favors foreign products, while ethnocentrism prefers local ones. This slide examines how marketers adapt to socio-cultural factors, ensuring culturally sensitive campaigns that resonate with diverse global audiences. Market entry strategies range from low-risk exporting to high-commitment direct investment. Exporting uses intermediaries to minimize financial risk, while licensing and franchising allow local firms to produce or adopt a business model, as with Taco Bell's global franchises. Strategic alliances, like joint ventures, pool resources for market access, while direct investment offers control but increases risk, as seen in Uber's Hyundai partnership. This slide explores how firms select strategies based on market conditions, resources, and goals, ensuring effective global expansion. Exporting involves selling products directly or through intermediaries like export merchants, who understand local markets and negotiate terms. It offers low financial risk, as firms avoid significant investments, but limits growth due to perceived foreignness of products. Marketers must adapt to local preferences and regulations to succeed. For example, exporting consumer goods to developing markets requires flexible pricing to accommodate non-convertible currencies. This slide examines how exporting balances low risk with limited control, enabling firms to test foreign markets with minimal commitment. Contractual agreements like licensing and franchising enable market entry with moderate risk. Licensing grants a local firm rights to produce and market a product, as seen in manufacturing deals. Franchising, used by brands like Taco Bell, allows local firms to adopt an entire business model, but risks quality inconsistencies if franchisees deviate from standards. Marketers monitor these agreements to protect brand integrity. This slide explores how contractual agreements balance control and risk, offering market access while requiring oversight to maintain brand reputation. Strategic alliances, such as joint ventures, allow firms to pool resources with local partners for mutual benefit. Uber's 2020 partnership with Hyundai to develop electric air taxis exemplifies this, easing market entry and gaining government support. Alliances reduce financial risk while providing access to new markets and local expertise. However, they require careful coordination to align goals. This slide examines how strategic alliances enable firms to navigate complex markets, leveraging partnerships to enhance competitiveness and market presence. Direct investment involves owning foreign operations, often by acquiring local firms, offering maximum control but high financial risk. The U.S., Brazil, Canada, and Mexico led in receiving foreign direct investment in 2023. This strategy avoids import restrictions and leverages local market knowledge, as seen when firms buy established businesses. However, risks like nationalization in unstable regions persist. This slide explores how direct investment enables firms to establish strong market positions while navigating significant financial and political challenges. Marketing mix strategies involve choosing between standardization, applying a uniform approach globally, and localization, tailoring to local markets. Standardization offers economies of scale, as seen in global brands like Coca-Cola, but may miss cultural nuances. Localization adapts products, pricing, and promotions to local preferences, enhancing relevance but increasing costs. Marketers balance these approaches to align with consumer needs and market conditions. This slide examines how firms decide between standardization and localization to optimize global marketing effectiveness and cultural resonance. Product strategies in global marketing include straight extension, offering the same product worldwide, product adaptation, modifying products for local needs, as seen in Unilever's region-specific formulations, and product invention, creating new products for markets, like simplified appliances for LDCs. Backward invention develops less advanced products for infrastructure-limited markets. Each approach balances cost, market fit, and innovation. This slide explores how firms adapt product strategies to align with consumer preferences and market conditions, ensuring competitiveness in diverse global markets. Price strategies in global markets must account for tariffs, exchange rates, and local production costs, which can raise prices compared to domestic markets. Free trade zones allow warehousing without taxes, reducing costs. Gray markets, where unauthorized products are sold, and dumping, pricing below domestic levels, pose ethical and legal risks. Marketers set competitive prices while ensuring compliance, as seen with international textbook editions. This slide examines how pricing strategies balance affordability, profitability, and regulatory adherence in global markets. Promotion strategies decide whether to use global or localized messaging. Some firms use universal messages, leveraging English's global prevalence, while others translate and adapt to local languages and cultures, as Nivea did with whitening deodorants in China. Cultural sensitivities, like avoiding offensive terms, are critical, as seen in Audi's Etre naming issue in France. Marketers work with local experts to ensure messaging resonates. This slide explores how promotion strategies balance global consistency with cultural relevance to engage diverse audiences effectively. Distribution strategies require reliable systems to deliver products, especially challenging in LDCs with poor infrastructure. Marketers must ensure efficient logistics, as seen in e-commerce growth in developed markets. Localism, sourcing locally, reduces carbon footprints and appeals to green consumers. Firms like retailers using nearby suppliers minimize long-haul transport emissions. This slide examines how distribution strategies balance efficiency, accessibility, and sustainability, ensuring products reach consumers while aligning with environmental and market-specific demands. Ethical marketing builds long-term trust with stakeholders, including consumers and stockholders. Unethical practices, like Walmart's alleged bribery in Mexico or Purdue Pharma's OxyContin marketing, lead to scandals, financial losses, and reputational damage. Such actions can erode consumer trust, result in job losses, or devalue investments. Ethical marketing aligns with societal values, ensuring transparency and accountability. This slide explores how ethical standards foster sustainable relationships, emphasizing the consequences of unethical behavior and undermining brand integrity and market success. Ethical philosophies guide marketing decisions. The utilitarian approach seeks the greatest good with minimal harm, as in choosing safe product features. The rights approach protects moral rights, like privacy or truth. The fairness approach ensures equitable treatment, while the common good approach benefits the community, as seen in public health campaigns. The virtue approach aligns with values like honesty and compassion. This slide examines how these philosophies inform ethical marketing, enabling firms to navigate complex dilemmas while maintaining integrity and stakeholder trust. The American Marketing Association's AMA Statement of Ethics provides norms for marketers, emphasizing doing no harm, fostering trust, and embracing values like honesty, responsibility, equity, transparency, and citizenship. These principles guide pricing, research, and promotion to ensure ethical practices. For instance, transparency in advertising builds consumer trust, while responsibility ensures fair treatment. This slide explores how the AMA's framework helps marketers align strategies with ethical standards, fostering accountability and societal benefit in both domestic and global markets. Marketing faces criticisms like exploiting the poor while serving the rich, as seen in tobacco companies targeting LDCs. Unsafe products, like toys with lead, raise safety concerns. Though most firms recall defective items, poor quality perceptions stem from consumer expectations, not always reality. Planned obsolescence, like frequent iPhone updates, drives sales but frustrates consumers. Easy credit, such as payday loans, risks overconsumption. This slide examines these criticisms, exploring how marketers can address perceptions through ethical practices and quality assurance to rebuild trust. Global business ethics vary by culture, where payments for favors are common in some LDCs but considered bribery elsewhere. The U.S. Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA, bans payments to influence foreign contracts, putting U.S. firms at a disadvantage. Bribery involves voluntary illegal payments, while extortion occurs under duress. Marketers must navigate these differences, ensuring compliance with laws like the FCPA while respecting local norms. This slide examines how ethical dilemmas in global markets require balancing legal standards with cultural practices to maintain integrity. Human rights issues impact global marketing, with the 2023 Global Slavery Index reporting over 50 million victims of modern slavery in 160 countries, exploited in industries like manufacturing. The U.S. Generalized System of Preferences, GSP, promotes worker rights in developing countries through duty-free exports, requiring progress in labor conditions. Emerging issues include human trafficking, worker rights, and gender equality. Ethical firms avoid suppliers linked to slavery, as bad publicity harms brands. This slide explores how marketers address human rights, ensuring ethical sourcing and compliance with global standards. Sustainability in marketing focuses on the triple bottom line: people, planet, and profit. Firms enhance operational efficiencies, conserve resources, and reduce waste to align with environmental goals. For example, companies increase recycled material use and prevent waste discharge, as seen in Unilever's sustainable packaging. Consumers increasingly demand eco-friendly products, driving firms to adopt sustainable practices for competitive advantage. This slide examines how sustainability integrates social and environmental responsibility into marketing, ensuring long-term viability while meeting consumer and regulatory expectations. Sustainable marketing integrates eco-friendly practices into the marketing mix. Targeting green customers involves identifying eco-conscious consumers, as with electric vehicle markets. Using fair trade suppliers ensures ethical sourcing, enhancing brand reputation. Promotion strategies highlight sustainability, like Unilever's eco-packaging campaigns. Distribution embraces localism, reducing carbon footprints via local sourcing. This slide examines how firms align product, price, place, and promotion with sustainability goals, balancing profitability with environmental impact to foster consumer loyalty and competitive advantage in a conscious marketplace. Sustainable marketing extends beyond production to influence customer behavior. Marketers motivate consumers to choose eco-friendly products, as seen in campaigns by the African Conservation Foundation encouraging anti-poaching efforts. Educating consumers on environmental impacts fosters awareness, while promoting sustainable use, like recycling or energy-efficient products, encourages responsibility. Firms like Unilever engage customers through sustainability-focused messaging. This slide explores how marketers drive sustainable behavior, aligning consumer actions with environmental goals to create a positive impact and strengthen brand loyalty. Unilever exemplifies sustainable marketing through eco-friendly product lines, like biodegradable packaging, and reduced waste initiatives. Their sustainable living plan targets green consumers, offering products like concentrated detergents that lower environmental impact. By engaging eco-conscious markets, Unilever enhances brand loyalty and meets regulatory demands. Their single-use sachets for BOP markets balance affordability with sustainability. This slide examines how Unilever integrates sustainability into its marketing mix, demonstrating how firms can profitably align with environmental and social goals to drive consumer trust and market success. Global trade organizations facilitate international marketing. The World Bank supports financial stability in developing nations, enabling market growth. The IMF fosters economic cooperation, stabilizing currencies for trade. The WTO enforces trade agreements, covering 97% of world trade, and resolves disputes, ensuring fair practices. These organizations reduce barriers, but firms must navigate their regulations. This slide explores how marketers leverage these institutions to access markets, emphasizing the importance of understanding global trade frameworks to enhance competitiveness and compliance in international markets. Protectionism restricts global trade through quotas, embargoes, and tariffs. Quotas limit import volumes, protecting domestic industries but raising prices. Embargoes, like U.S. sanctions on Cuba, block trade entirely. Tariffs increase import costs, favoring local firms but limiting foreign competition. These measures challenge marketers, who must adapt pricing and sourcing strategies. This slide examines how protectionism impacts market access, requiring firms to navigate trade barriers creatively to maintain competitiveness and meet consumer demands in restricted markets. Cultural influences shape marketing strategies. Collectivist cultures, like those in Asia, prioritize community goals, requiring group-oriented campaigns, while individualist cultures, like the U.S., emphasize personal achievement. Social norms, such as dietary restrictions in India, dictate acceptable products. Customs, like mealtimes or greetings, require adaptation, as seen in Tupperware's eras and gatherings in Indonesia. Marketers work with local experts to align strategies with cultural nuances. This slide explores how cultural understanding ensures effective, respectful marketing in diverse global markets. Language profoundly impacts marketing success. Translation errors, like Audis-Etrin meaning crap in French, can harm brands. Cultural sensitivity ensures messaging aligns with local values, avoiding offense. Working with local language experts prevents missteps and enhances relevance, as seen in Nivea's tailored promotions in China. Marketers balance global branding with localized messaging to resonate with audiences. This slide examines how language strategies prevent costly errors, ensuring effective communication and consumer engagement in diverse global markets. Consumer behavior varies globally due to xenocentrism, where consumers prefer foreign products, e.g., European cars in the US, and ethnocentrism, favoring local products, common in markets like Japan. Marketers balance global brand appeal with local preferences, as seen in McDonald's localized menus. Understanding these dynamics ensures relevant product offerings and messaging. This slide explores how firms navigate consumer preferences to craft strategies that resonate across diverse markets, enhancing acceptance and competitiveness. Global marketing mix challenges include adapting products to local needs, such as Unilever's region-specific formulations, and pricing for diverse economic conditions, considering tariffs and exchange rates. Distribution in LDCs faces infrastructure barriers, requiring innovative logistics, while developed markets leverage e-commerce. Marketers balance standardization for cost efficiency with localization for relevance. This slide examines how firms address these challenges to ensure products are accessible, affordable, and appealing across global markets, maintaining competitiveness and consumer satisfaction. Purdue Pharma's unethical marketing of OxyContin, minimizing addiction risks, contributed to the opioid crisis, causing 400,000 deaths. Aggressive tactics, including doctor incentives, led to widespread misuse. The 2023 $6 billion settlement highlighted the consequences of unethical practices. This case underscores the importance of ethical marketing to avoid reputational and financial damage. Marketers must prioritize transparency and consumer safety. This slide examines how Purdue's actions eroded trust, emphasizing the need for ethical standards in marketing to protect stakeholders and maintain brand integrity. Sustainable distribution strategies minimize environmental impact. Localism, sourcing locally, reduces transport emissions, as seen in retailers using nearby suppliers. Energy-efficient logistics, like optimized delivery routes, lower costs and carbon footprints. Partnering with eco-friendly suppliers enhances sustainability, appealing to green consumers. These strategies balance efficiency with environmental responsibility, ensuring products reach markets sustainably. This slide explores how firms integrate sustainable distribution into their marketing mix, fostering consumer loyalty and regulatory compliance in eco-conscious markets. Future trends in global marketing include the rise of digital platforms, enabling targeted campaigns via social media and e-commerce. Sustainability is increasingly central, with consumers demanding eco-friendly products, as seen in Unilever's initiatives. Shifting consumer values, prioritizing ethics and transparency, require adaptive strategies. Marketers must leverage technology and align with societal trends to remain competitive. This slide explores how firms anticipate these trends, integrating digital tools and sustainable practices to meet evolving consumer expectations and drive long-term success in global markets.